President Donald Trump is demanding Harvard University pay $1 billion to restore federal funding. President Trump also suggests the university should face a criminal probe, but didn't give details about why. Trump alleges anti-Semitism at Harvard and wants to withhold research money. A judge's order is blocking that effort, and the Trump administration is appealing. The Education Department says negotiations with the university are ongoing, and according to the Harvard Crimson, the school refuses to pay a cash settlement. Trump's discussing a potential agreement that involves it funding trade schools.